Hi everyone. This is how you can use my template in DelightEx to create a large walkable area in your game. Normally the default is a very small area. I think it's about 60 by 60 units that you can only walk in. But this allows you to have really huge worlds, no limit to how far you can walk. So if you want to use this in your own project, just go to the code tab and copy the larger world, all this into your own project. Just start a plus TypeScript, paste it in there, and it will work. And so automatically, once you have this, you can walk as far as you want. But one problem is when you place objects, you will be limited to where it can be placed. You probably noticed this already. When you place objects, you can only place it within the bounds. So the easiest way to place objects outside of the bounds, well, two ways. One way is just right-click on the object, transform, and then you type something which is beyond the bounds. So, let's see here. So, for example, see, so now it's outside of the bounds. But you may notice, well, once you move it, it snaps back within the bounds. So that's a little irritating. So the way to get around that, to easily be able to move things around, is to just shift the root over. So you can see green is in this direction. So if I change the Y, I think if I increase it, no, decrease it, like 40. See, now it changes the area that I can place my cube here. It's shifted it over, so I can place it in this area. So that's how you can create a much larger area and still have the flexibility to place objects easily without manually typing in coordinates. I mean, you could always just put the coordinates in here for everything, but that's very tedious if the things are outside of the editable area. Okay, so when you're done, just parent the object to root, and then it'll move when root moves. So if, for example, I want to work on over there, add more objects near this crab, well, you can find your object that you want to focus on, crab, just check the coordinates, 275, 25. So go to root, and then, was it negative? 275, 25. So change that to 275, 25. See? So now you're focused on the crab. So you could place more things here. All right, you can go there. And then you're able to place stuff kind of within the vicinity of this coordinate that you move the root to. And again, when you're done, just parent it to the root. Okay? So that's how you can use this in your own project. And I mean, in your own project, you don't have to have root. You can still, you could still just place everything by manually, setting higher numbers if you want to. But this makes it a lot easier. Right? So you could just copy this or make your own shape for root, put it at 0, 0, 0 originally, and then rotate it by 180. Then whatever you parent to it, it's kind of like the reverse. So when you have this coordinate, negative 58, 32, then you can just change the root to negative 58, 32, and then it will line up with that location. And I've added another scene here, blank. You could use this to start. So I'll give you a little demo of how you could start with your own project. So you could, for example, I'll search for island, and here's the default asset there. And then now let's say I want to place more land over here. So normally if you just duplicated this and then moved it, as you can see, I can't really push it that far. So what you can do, well, let's parent the first one to root first. First island is parented. Now this is the other one. Now the root, you can see I'm going to have to move it along the red over to the left so I can transform. And then probably about 40 or 50 is probably a good increment. So negative 50, or sorry, 50, I guess it is. 50. See, so that shifted everything over. And then I can move this one easily. And I could rotate. Rotate. Right. And so you can keep doing that to add more land. All right, I'll parent this again. There we go. And now let's do it one more time, right? I can duplicate this. I'm going to unparent it. And then shift, let's say I want to put it over here. So I would have to move it. You can look at the arrows. You click on something, just click move and look at the arrows. So I'd have to, well, that is if it's not rotated. You click the root, I guess, or add a shape. Like if you added just a shape like this, then you get a sense of which direction it is. So it's along the green. So change the green to 50. See? So that moves it. And then this island's already kind of in the right spot. And then just rotate it. Okay. And so that's how you can place objects. It doesn't have to be landmass, right? You could have other stuff that you place, but that's how you'd place them and not go nuts trying to, type coordinates. So DelightEx team, if for some reason you actually watch this, please, 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 remove this limit. I don't understand. Why stop people from moving stuff outside of the bounds? Just let people move it out. That would make things so much better. Okay, great product. I love DelightEx, but this thing drives me nuts. Like the way it just snaps. Like you type beyond it, right? And okay, that's good. And then maybe you just want to move it a little bit. Oh man, it jumped back to within the bounds. I can't stand that. But other than that, I love DelightEx. It's amazing, amazing, so powerful and so simple to use. You can make 3D experiences. All right, so yeah, give it a try, right? And I got a nice demo here. Just try this out, and you'll see how easy it is to create your own larger world. So I think you all can make some good stuff if you hopefully this is useful to you. And in case you're curious how this thing works, it's basically using something very common to video games, which is to shift the user when they move out of the bounds. And so what happens is, let's say you're here, right? And then you're walking. So when the user walks to the boundary, then the code will just jump the player over to this side. And it will also jump all the assets over, like shifting over to there too. So basically what happens is the player walk. When you're walking, you hit this point and it'll just jump them over to here. And all the assets also jump over to here. So basically it's just shifting assets over and over and over, and the player also jumps over to this spot. So the coordinates of the player actually never go very high. Like if you keep walking, right? For example, the person's right here, and you keep walking, and then the number gets higher and higher, but it will never go beyond 25. You can see in the code here, like when it reaches 25, then it will shift all the items over actually by 50 units. I think it's meters, but it'll shift everything over -50. And that and it happens so fast no one notices it. It just immediately jumps. But that allows the world to keep on wrapping around, like the player just keeps wrapping around and around, and then you can walk forever. So that's how this whole thing works. Generally, a really good technique. You should be doing this in your games. You don't really want like the player to walk to a very distant location, like coordinate wise, because there will be floating point errors. If the number gets too large, then motion can get jittery. If there's animations, they can go all jittery. So generally, you want the player, the coordinates, to be confined to a very small area. And if objects are very far away, they may jitter too, but because they're so far away, people don't notice, right? So technically, I mean, if you do have a really large world, you, like when you're done making it, you should unparent everything probably. And that would probably make it more smooth. I'm not sure. Depends how the engine handles it. I'm not sure how DelightEx handled it, but to be safe, when you're done, back up your work and then just unparent everything from the root. It'll still move exactly the same, but then I think the calculation will work a little bit better. Okay, so that's the technical of how it works. Very interesting, and it's probably working in a lot of games that you play. This is probably happening behind the scenes. But in DelightEx, watch out, because if you have some particles or like fire or other stuff or smoke, it'll do some weird things when the player hits the point where it wraps around. The smoke may jump, so it doesn't work too good if you have particles. But if you don't have particles, I don't think anyone will even know what's happening. Yep, so that's how it works. All right, so enjoy. I look forward to seeing what you make, and you can give me a shout and show me what you've made. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.